Good afternoon, it's Marcia here, and I'm excited to be with you to share some information about microwaves in general. Not necessarily about microwave cooking. I'm not going to be making recipes, although I do have a couple of things that I'm going to be showing off. But I wanted to come to you today to just explain a bit about how a microwave works, how it cooks your food. Why is it the most energy efficient, healthiest, easiest, fastest, and just all over most fun way to cook? So if you have any questions, if you're here, please say hi. Please comment on the bottom and say hi. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments and hopefully I will see them. I'll try and find my iPad so that I can, there we go, so that I can see the comments. Are you commenting yet? Maybe I have to do something here. Oh, there I think. Okay, now I think I can see comments. Okay. So, I'm going to get right into it. We're not going to wait for a bunch of people. We're going to get right into it. I've been using the microwave for a very, very long time. I have to tell you, my first experience with the microwave was kind of magic. That my boyfriend's mom had one, and we went over to his place and he took out a hot dog right out of the freezer, and it was frozen solid, put it in the microwave, and 1 minute later it exploded and was so hot we couldn't eat it. And it was absolutely magical. And a lot of people haven't gotten past that it's a box and you put stuff in, and in a very short time frame things come out and they're cooked one way or the other, or heated up at least one way or the other. Whether it's good or whether it's bad depends on if you have told your microwave what to do and if you have got the right tools to work with. And that's one thing that we hadn't had. I got to learn more about microwave cooking once I got into Tupperware, and once we got the Ultra 21 cookware way back in 1993, I think, 92. And it just progressed from there. That Tupperware has done the research. It is based in science, always. Everything Tupperware does is based in science. And so their microwave cookware systems are no different. That microwave cooking is as easy to understand as what happens when you rub your hands together. So I want you all to rub your hands together. What happens? You can answer. I think I'm not seeing comments here. There we go. What happens when you rub your hands together? They get hot. Why do they get hot? Friction. And it is the friction of the molecules of your food, the fat, water, and sugar molecules, which are the only 3 types of molecules that absorb microwave energy. It's the friction of those molecules rubbing together very quickly in your food that cooks your food. It cooks it from the inside out, meaning that the heat that is generated from within the food itself. Most of the time your food will cook on the outside and work its way to the middle. And I'll teach you today how to deal with that depending on what you're cooking. But basically it's that friction. It's that simple. It's friction. So what else happens? Well, that friction, when those molecules are rubbing together and creating that friction and heating up your food, that they don't just stop when your timer goes beep, that they take a while to slow down and come to a halt, just like when you apply the brakes to your car. But that means that your food will continue to cook, and it'll continue to cook for about 20% of your cooking time. So it means that if you take the food out of the microwave and it's not quite done, like the turkey burger today that I'm going to be cooking here in the stack cooker, when I take it out, you may see some pinkish spots still in it. I don't want you to freak out, because even while it's sitting here on the counter afterwards in the stack cooker, it's going to continue to cook. And in just a couple minutes, you're going to see that all those pink spots have disappeared. After 5 minutes, if your pink spots haven't disappeared, if it was kind of raw pink, you know the difference. There's pinkish pink, rare pink, and then there's raw pink. If it's raw pink, yeah, put it back in for another 30 seconds or a minute. But the thing to remember is that your microwave cooks in at least a quarter of the time as a regular oven or your stove. And so it cooks a lot faster. So if you're going to put it back in, only put it back in for another 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Hi, Tracy. Because that will be lots, just to keep it going, a little another nudge here. So, but let me go back a little bit. What is a microwave oven? A microwave is actually a very simple device. It's a metal box that has what's called a magnetron. It's like a radio station, and the radio thing that sends out the radio waves. Why can't I think of that right now? That the magnetron in the microwave is the same thing. It sends out the microwaves, and microwaves are an energy wave, just like a radio wave. It's a very low frequency energy wave. It is not radioactive per se. It's not like getting an X-ray. Those are very high frequency energy waves. These are very low frequency energy waves, like a radio wave. So if you stand in front of your radio, you got no problem with that, right? There's no problem standing in front of your microwave either. It's 100% safe. That these microwaves are sent out. They're about 5 inches long and about ½ inch wide, which means they're too wide to go through the holes in the screen of the door of the microwave, so there's no way they're getting out, don't worry. And they're traveling at the speed of light. So that means that, and they only live about 5 feet, about the length of my island. Go that far at speed of light, poof, takes no time. By the time you even think about opening the door, they're all gone. So, dispelling that myth. There is no radiation that comes out of your microwave at all. It's long gone by the time you even think about it. Oh, they're great cabinets. It's a 80s kitchen, right, Terry? So the microwaves are traveling at the speed of light. They only travel about 5 feet and then they're done. And they are sent out by the magnetron at the rate of 3.5 billion with a B per second. And so there is lots and lots and lots and lots of them. So they will, and they're only absorbed, the energy is only absorbed by 3 things, by 3 types of molecules: fat, water, and sugar. Remember that. Fat, water, and sugar. And it's those fat, water, and sugar molecules that will absorb the energy. Your microwaves will only penetrate your food about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So if you've got something thicker, like a meatloaf, for example, if you've put a meatloaf in the stack cooker, for example, instead of putting it into your loaf pan and letting it poach in its own fat in the oven for an hour or so at 350? I haven't cooked a meatloaf in my oven for 40 years, or 30 years at least, since I got a stack cooker. But if you put your meatloaf mixture in the stack cooker with the colander on it, use the cone in the center. Pack your meatloaf mixture all around the outside, and so your microwaves can go down into the middle and cook it from the inside out as well. So that's another benefit of the cone. It helps things to cook more evenly. And you'll find that instead of poaching in its own fat in your oven, that all of that excess fat drains down below in your stack cooker, so it ends up down here instead of in here or down here. Now, I was actually going to cook some hamburger here with the stack cooker, but I'll do that in just a second. Okay, so that's how your microwave works. It's as simple as that. Friction, hands rubbing together, and it keeps on going a little bit until 20% of your cooking time afterwards. So that standing time is really important. Don't put it back in right away, because it will have its standing time and they'll continue to cook. Even if you put it back in again, it'll still have standing time at the end. So it'll just be overcooked, and you can cook it a little more, but you can't take that cooking back. So just be careful about that. That's one thing about microwave cooking. The other important thing about microwave cooking is that, okay, and now I'm getting distracted by the comments. I'm going to turn you just so I don't see you for a minute, because otherwise I'll get distracted and lose my train of thought. The other thing about the microwave is that it cooks directly. The advantage of using your microwave is that it goes to work directly on your food, that there's none of this preheating, that when you're using your stove or your oven, that you have to preheat your oven up to 425 degrees. I know it takes my oven 17 minutes to preheat to 425. In your MicroPro grill, it preheats to the same temperature in 90 seconds, a minute and a half. How much energy saving is that doing for you? Just a little aside. And also on your stovetop, even if you're preheating, even if you're cooking hamburger in the fry pan on the stove, oh my gosh, you have to preheat your fry pan because the energy or the electricity has to come in. It has to come up through the coils. It has to preheat the coils underneath, which then have to heat up the pan. And then if you're boiling something, then it has to preheat the water and boil the water till it gets around to cooking your food. That's a lot of lead time. With the microwave, it cooks waterlessly, that you don't need to. If you're cooking vegetables, you don't need to have all of that water there. Most of your vegetables are 60 to 80% water anyway, and you want to cook them waterlessly. You don't want to add extra water because the nutrients in your vegetables are water soluble. The vitamins are anyway. And if it's like your mom said, or I know my mom did, that you always put the potato water in the gravy because that's where the goodness is. And it's true that you boil potatoes on the stove and you drain off that water. Well, most of the vitamin C that was in your potatoes is now down your drain. So maintain your nutrient levels by cooking in the microwave, using your stack cooker or your Vent and Serve. Oh shoot, I didn't take out a piece of Vent and Serve. Hang on. Yes, I have one here. There we go. I'll even make sure it's sort of kind of the right color. There we go. So even if you're cooking in your Vent and Serve, which is our freezer to microwave cookware, that you don't need more than a tablespoon of water for frozen or even fresh vegetables. If you have washed off your fresh vegetables, probably the water that's left on them after you've washed them is lots. And then put them in for 4 to 5 minutes, depending on what you've got there. And you'll find that your vegetables are so much more flavorful, that the nutrients and the flavor is maintained by cooking them in the microwave and not boiling them away in that water that you end up dumping down the drain. Even if you do put it in the gravy, gravy is extra fat. So all of it, it's healthier to cook your vegetables in the microwave. Okay, so that's the basic idea. That's how a microwave actually works. Okay, I'm going to bring back here. Stack cooker the best, loving my stack cooker. Good, I'm glad you love your stack cooker, Terry. We're gonna be doing lots more training on it over this next few weeks. Okay, so speaking of the stack cooker, I did a pre-cook. I'm getting my supper ready to go, actually. I did a pre-cook of some rice in the stack cooker, a rice and quinoa mix actually. I use my stack cooker for cooking my rice. Oh, I can do, hang on. My counter is so dark, my stack cooker kind of gets lost here. So I'll just, there, I'll put it on my nice white. There we go, that's better. So always open it up so that the steam goes away from you. This was 2 cups of wild rice, brown rice, quinoa mixture. I also added in some of my favorite seasoning, which is the Costco organic no salt seasoning, which is one of my favorites. And I added in 2 and a bit cups of water for each cup, so a total of 4 and a bit cups of water. And I put it in the microwave to cook for 8 minutes on high power in my 1200 watt microwave, which is the one back over here. And then I bumped that down with 2-stage cooking, which virtually every microwave can do, by the way. If you don't know how to do 2-stage cooking or to knock down the power of your microwave, I'll be talking about that as well. So I had that in there for 8 minutes on high, 18 minutes on power 4 in my 1200 watt microwave. And I've got perfect, how is it? I've got perfectly cooked rice. And that was with pretty much cold water. I might put it back in for 1 minute. There's a little touch of water left at the bottom. So I might put it back in for 1 minute. But an important thing, if you're looking to do rice in the Stat Cooker, which is the easiest way, yes, we have our rice cooker as the Smart Multi-Cooker, but for multifunctionality and versatility, you cannot beat the Stat Cooker. It is the most versatile piece of Tupperware that there is. There's the most versatile cooking system anywhere in the world. I'll put it up against anything. And yes, you can use the rice maker, but this works just fine. The one thing that you want to be careful of is that you don't close it up, don't cover it, because the pressure will build up too much inside and it's going to boil over. So to avoid that, you're going to turn the handles so they're perpendicular. See, handle top, handle bottom. They're perpendicular here. And then that opens up on the Stat Cooker, some venting on the side, but not enough. So tilt it that way. So there's a big open spot there. So it's really vented, but it will cook a little more efficiently if you have that tilted that way. So it will work just fine. I'm going to let it sit and do its standing time. I'll put it back behind me here. So now, just for fun, there, I won't dirty up my pretty one. I'll put our turkey burger in the Stat Cooker. The Stat Cooker is also fantastic, best thing in the world for making hamburger. For those of you who still cook your hamburger in the fry pan, on the stove, and you stand and you stir, deep frying it in its own fat. And then you vainly try and pour that fat off. Well, you've already cooked it in. How the heck do you expect to get it out again? Once it's cooked in, it's in there. So instead, use a different cooking method. And that's all that a microwave is. That cooking on the stove, cooking in the oven, steaming, smoking, like smoking brisket, meat smoking, not that smoking. Smoking like in a smoker where you cook your meats. Cooking in a pig in a luau pit. They're all just different ways of cooking your food. The microwave is no different. It's just a different way of cooking to get the same results. Your food will be cooked and it's going to change. Cooking by nature changes the texture. It changes, cooking it in the oven, cooking on the stove, changes the texture, changes things about your food. That's the whole point of cooking. So I find it odd when people are so freaked out about the microwave because it's just another way of cooking. They'll probably eat a brisket cooked in a smoker. Well, that's just a different way of cooking. So, and we have in Tupperware though, for those people who are still a little leery about microwaves, even though they have been shown by pretty much every scientific organization, research organization on the planet over the last 40 years to be one of the safest, easiest, energy efficient, and healthiest ways to cook. There's always people who will believe what they read on Facebook or what they read on Fox News. There we go. So in the Stat Cooker, the 1 3/4 liter casserole, I am putting my colander, which for obvious reasons must be within a casserole, and I'm going to then cover it so that it doesn't splatter, and I'm going to put it in the microwave, in my 1200 watt microwave. I'm going to put it in on power 6 for 4.5 minutes. And I'll explain wattage in just a minute and why we knock the power down. So just give me a second here. 4, 3. Oh, start. There we go. Okay. So the great benefit of the microwave is one of the great benefits. We've talked about how it's healthier because it extracts more fat than any other method of cooking. It, oh, that's another thing that I want. Oh, I want that. I'll dump that out. There. There. Want that available to pour our fat into. That it extracts more fat than any other method of cooking. It maintains the vitamin nutrient level in your foods better than any other method of cooking. And it's also the most energy efficient way to cook because your stove and your oven are plugged into 220 volt. Your microwave is plugged into 110, so automatically you're using half the energy. And it cooks, your microwave cooks in at least a quarter of the time, if not sometimes a tenth of the time, as cooking in your oven or on your stove. If you're wanting to do chicken nuggets out of your freezer, what do you do if you're cooking them in the oven? You're gonna turn on your oven to preheat, probably to 425. Well, there's 17 minutes right there to preheat. And then you're gonna put your chicken nuggets from the freezer onto your cookie sheet into the oven, and you're gonna cook them for another 25 minutes. So altogether, that's 42 minutes. That's 42 minutes at 220 volts of power. Whereas in your MicroPro grill, you can put those same chicken nuggets, put them in right away in your microwave, and in about 6 minutes, they're going to be cooked and ready to eat. 6 to 7 minutes, depending on your wattage. That is a ridiculous amount of energy savings. And you will find that if once you are utilizing your microwave more often and more regularly and using your oven and stove less, because you can do in your microwave pretty much anything you can do in your stove or on your oven, that you'll find that you can see huge, like 20 to 30% savings on your power bill. Wouldn't that be nice? Going forward, have 20 to 30% savings on your power bill? Yeah, it really is. So let's talk about wattage. Any questions thus far? I haven't been watching here. Whoa. Okay. Any questions thus far? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Good stuff. Actually, I'll save questions till the end. Your wattage. The wattage is as important to know with your microwave as knowing what temperature you're turning the dial on your stove or for your oven. It's that important. If you have a cake mix, it will usually say an average oven temperature is 350 degrees, right? So if you don't know the temperature, you're gonna put it in at 350. That's pretty standard. Well, a standard microwave oven that most recipes are geared towards, the cooking times are geared towards, is 800 to 900 watts. Most recipes out there in cookbooks are geared towards 800 to 900 watts. And that's sort of like a 350 degree oven. If you have a 1,000 watt microwave, that's putting stuff in your oven at about 475 degrees. If you've got a 1,200 watt microwave, that's like putting things in your oven on self-clean, which is 550 to 600 degrees. Yeah, put it in on 1,200 on high, and that's like putting it into your oven on self-clean. So if you took that cake mix, getting back to our cake mix, if you took that cake mix and mixed it up the same way, put it in the container, put it in your oven, put the time for the regular one that you would normally use, but you jack up the time or jack up the heat to self-clean, are you gonna get the same results? Heck no, you're not. Or if you take this rice that I just cooked and you put it in your pot on the stove and you jack it up to high to boil the water and then walk away for 25 minutes, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have a heck of a mess. You're probably gonna have burnt rice, and yeah, it's just gonna be a disaster. So You need to know about your wattage, and the same thing with your microwave. That if you put that same rice in 1200 degree or 1200 watts for the entire 25 minutes, you're going to have way overcooked rice. It's probably going to damage your micro or your stack cooker because it's going to have overcooked so badly. And it's going to be bad. Just trust me, it's going to be bad. So let's talk wattage. All right, now I've got it set up here. Now, before we do that, my turkey is done. The other nice thing that I love about the microwave, and particularly our Tupperware cookware, is that the handles, particularly on the stack cooker, do not get hot. So as a general rule, you don't often need hot pads when you are using it. Always, always though, open it away from your face so that that steam that comes up comes away from you, because it will be very, very hot. Never stir your cooked meat with the same spoon that you cooked your raw meat. If you do not yet have the simple spoon or 2 or 3 of them in your kitchen, get them. Ours are the best utensils anywhere. The tongs, the flipper, the soup ladle, the whisk. I've got them all right in my utensil holder right beside me. These are the best utensils anywhere. It is a wooden spoon that can go in the dishwasher and actually be made clean. That a wooden spoon by its nature is not hygienic because it's wood. That is a porous product and you can't get it clean. All right, I'm just busting this up a little bit, which I shouldn't have. Did you notice when I started with this that I had made a hole in the center, so the center was clear? It's just the same idea as using that cone. So the center is clear so that the microwaves are going to be able to cook it more evenly. I've broken it up here and you may see actually it's cooking right before my eyes because there was some of it that was quite pink when I took it out. But now it has continued to cook and this is ground turkey, not ground beef. That's why it looks lighter than you might think. Whoa, that's really light beef. It's not. It's ground turkey. We don't eat beef here. So, rarely eat beef, shall I say. And so I've got that cooked up here. Now, the fun thing is, get that off the bottom there. This is the biggest reason to use your microwave when you are cooking anything that has any fat that you want to get rid of. Sausage, be sure that you poke the sausage into the casing so that the fat inside can come out. Chicken, turkey, you can use it for bacon, though you must put 2 or 3 tablespoons of water on the bottom of your stack cooker so that the fat that will melt off, that gets cooked off, will float on the water. If you don't do that, it gets too hot. And yes, this is the highest heat resistant plastic anywhere, but it's not infinitely resistant. You can crack your stack cooker and then you will be out your stack cooker and probably get a different color of stack cooker back. So they don't necessarily recommend using bacon. Definitely do not cook it on any higher than power 6. Do not cook it on high in a 1200 watt microwave. No more than power 6. But here we go. Look at that. That was one regular package of Costco ground turkey. So that's a pound and a bit. I don't know, a little more than a pound, I guess. But look at all that. That's not all fat, but it's all goop that I sure don't want to have in my body. I'd rather that it's out here, and my dog Daisy is very excited will be very excited that I've got that there. Okay, and now our hamburger, just one little aside, that if you want to keep it chunky, that's fine. If you're like my husband and you want to have it chunky, that's fine. Otherwise, when we're using it for spaghetti sauce or for tacos, or if I'm just pre-cooking it, then to put it in our freezer mates and have it in the freezer in meal-sized portions for tacos and quesadillas and so on, that I will put this into my Sonic chopper and chop it up so it's nice and fine. It takes about 4 pulls. And it's all chopped up so it's nice and fine, ready to go. One little added thing, you can of course add in seasoning into the hamburger mixture. You can add in finely chopped onion or celery if you want to put that in as well and cook that, have a kind of a meat mixture. Never add salt to anything that you're cooking prior to it being cooked, because that's just going to draw out more of the water and dry things out. So never add salt, and really your food in your microwave is going to be a lot more flavorful, so you don't need it. We have way too much salt in our diets as it is. So start enjoying the flavor of food, not the saltiness of food. There's lots of other flavors besides salt out there. Okay, so there's our hamburger, done and ready to go. All right, so last thing that I want to cover here before I get into our cooking systems is I'm just going to bring you around and I'm going to flip you. I am. There we go. I'm going to flip you. So to find out the wattage of your microwave, is that still in focus? I hope so. To find out the wattage of your microwave, you're going to look either on the back or on the inside of the door on a little plate that's there. For some microwaves, you may have to go and look up the owner's manual online, but you will find that the wattage, okay, good. The wattage, you're going to look on the back of your microwave and you're going to look for one word and one word only, and it's not wattage. It is output. It will be normal output, power output, wattage output, whatever. But output is the key word. It will be somewhere between 650 in a really itty bitty microwave to about 1200 watts, maybe 1250, but 1200 is as high as it goes in Canada for a residential microwave. If you see something other than that number, outside those numbers, then you're looking at the wrong number. So here you'll see output right there. Output, 900 watts. So 900 watts, this is an average one. This is my second microwave. I have 2 microwaves in my kitchen. This is the second one. And so this is my old original one from Canadian Tire, but still going strong. So the power output is 900 watts. Oh, power input, we want output. There we go, 900 watts. So that's how you tell what it is. Now, if you have, let me go back here, there. So now that you've found your wattage, how do you deal with it? If you've got a recipe that calls for if it will tell you the wattage that recipe was geared towards. If it doesn't, then assume that it was an 800 or 900 watt microwave. If you have the recipe, if your wattage is, for every 100 watts, you are above the average of 800. Your high, if it says cook on high, but it doesn't say what the wattage was, assume it was 800 or maybe 900 you can get away with. And for every 100 watts you are above the average, you want to knock your power level down 1 level. So I have a 1200 watt microwave back over here that if something is being cooked on high, like you'll often see recipes for the stack cooker, cook on high. Well, I would suggest that high in a 1200 watt microwave to do a stack cook meal is way too high. I would suggest that you knock that down. That's 400 watts above the average high. So I would knock it down at least 3 levels and cook on power 6 or 7. Does that make sense? Natasha, Terry, does that make sense? That for every 100 watts yours is above the average of 800 or 900, that you knock down your power that much. How do you knock down your power? Every microwave has this ability, and yours may be different, but it goes one of two ways. With this microwave that you put in your time first, 200 power 5. And that gets me 50% power. Or, like on my other microwave, let me bring you back over here, that if, okay, hang on, I'll flip you around again, that's easier. There we go. So that I would go power level, push 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then put my time, and then turn on. There you go. Now, if you want to, I'll take it one step further. For those of you that have not yet stage cooked, like I did with the rice, I put it in for 8 minutes on high. So I start power level, 10, and 8 minutes. And then I want to go power level, down, and I put it on power level 5 or 4 for 18 minutes. And I start it, and then we're back at the 8 minutes. So it's doing that initial 8 minutes. So it automatically does the stage cooking. So that's what makes your microwaves so amazing. They're like a micro butler. If you learn how to tell it what to do and give it the right equipment to work with, the right tools to work with, your microwave will do great things for you. But if you don't have the right tools and you don't know what to tell it the right way, then you aren't going to get great results. One other thing while we're talking about wattage and knocking it down, this is a Panasonic microwave. So back over here, Panasonic microwave from Costco. And Panasonic is the only company that I'm aware of that has inverter technology. What that means is that on any other microwave, so let me turn back here. On any other microwave, on my little microwave here, that when I make it go 50% power, that it's going to sound like it's cycling in and out, that it'll cook for a while and then it goes off for a while, and cooks for a while and then goes out, in and out, in and out. And what's happening is that on most microwaves, when you change the power level, it's going to mean that the microwave is actually going to cook for 50% of the time. If you've got it on 50% power, it's going to cook for half the time on high, and then it's going to not cook. So it's going to cook in bursts. I'm trying to get you so you don't fall over. You're perched up on a modular square too. There we go. So it's going to cook in bursts. So half on, half off. 70% on, 30% off. 90% on, 10% off. But with the inverter technology, what that does is actually when you set it at 50% power, it actually knocks the power down. So it is evenly cooking at 50% power the whole time. That's the difference. That's what inverter technology does, and it does give you a slightly better result because it's more even cooking. There you go. Any questions about that? We're good so far? Have I got you bored? Are y'all learning something? Who's learned something already today? Are you learning stuff you didn't know before? I sure hope so. Okay, well, the last thing that I want to do is talk about our microwave cooking systems that we have in Tupperware. We actually have 5 microwave cooking systems. Just want to give me a little more space here. Don't fall. There we go. We've got 5 microwave cooking systems in Tupperware, which are unique in the world. Tupperware has developed them. They have done the science. They are based on science. And they have done the science and technology and the research and development to, like all of our products, that department is huge in Tupperware. So, first of all, the Stack Cooker. The Stack Cooker is made of the highest heat resistant plastic in the world. Where's my feature tray here? There we go. It is made of the most heat-resistant plastic in the world. It was actually originally plastic material used on the Canadarm space satellite, so it is very, very light. It is very, very durable, very, very flexible, which makes it perfect for space, but also perfect for the microwave. All of our microwave items are ones that are not heat conductors. That think of Pyrex or Corningware, that when it's in the microwave for a while, it gets so hot, and yet your food is sometimes still ice cold, or it gets cold really fast. It's because those items are a heat conductor. 30% of your cooking time is taken up just heating up the container. And then conversely, when it's on the table, that container wants to stay hot longest, so it will suck the heat out of your food, and you'll have to keep reheating your food all the time. Conversely, in our stack cooker or in our multi-cooker or the pressure cooker or any of our products are not heat conductors. They are thermal insulators. They don't care if they get hot. They don't care if they stay hot. That the material is happy to let the heat stay inside where it is. So that's why they can cook 30% faster in the stack cooker than it will, or in Tupperware, than it will in anything else that is made of glass. So the stack cooker gives you the benefit. Microwaves are what is cooking your food. So totally microwaves are cooking your food, and it is very dependent on the wattage of your microwave. So you do need to know the wattage of your microwave to get best results from your stack cooker. As you know, you can use it cooking 3 levels to cook a 3-part meal, or you can use the pieces individually to create multitudes of different things. I'm not going to go into all of that today, but the stack cooker, if you haven't yet joined our customer stack cooking group, join that. Go to My Tupperware Stack Cooker Recipes. That's another Facebook group, and that's a consultant only group, not a customer group, but a consultant only group, and you can find thousands of different recipes for the stack cooker and for all these other things too, because there's a group for each one of them. So the stack cooker is the first one. It's my favorite, been my favorite for nearly 30 years, as long as I've had it. And I use it every single day, usually several times a day. It does have the benefit of also coming with the seals so that you can seal up what you've made. So you can prepare, cook, serve, and store in the same container. Now the Vent and Serve, which is about the same color, is made of almost the same kind of material. It isn't quite as high a heat resistance as the stack cooker, but it is very high heat resistance, certainly much more than the Crystal Wave or any other piece of Tupperware. It is really the only Tupperware in which you should recommend to customers that they use for meal planning things that have any tomato sauce or gravy or soup, any fat, sugar, tomato sauce in there, like spaghetti sauce and gravy and chili and so on, because it's not going to stain, it's not going to pit. That will happen in your Crystal Wave. You cannot store in the freezer in your Crystal Wave. This is freezer to microwave cookware. Things about this, it comes with the vent. The vent must be open when it is in the microwave cooking and reheating, and until the food and the container is cold. Otherwise, if you close it down prior to that being cold, if it's still warm inside, as it cools, that seal will get sucked in, it will get stretched, it will be too big, and people are going to complain. But that's their own fault because they closed the lid. This is the laws of physics. So simply open the vent, make sure that you are knowing and letting, if you're a rep, letting your consumers know that they leave the vent open until the food and the container is cold. And that goes for any container in the world. The laws of physics goes with anything, not just Tupperware. If it doesn't have a seal, leave the seal ajar until the food and the container is cold. Vent and Serve we use every single day as well. All right. The other thing that is kind of similar in a way, well, I'll use this one first. The pressure cooker is the second one of our microwave cooking systems that uses microwave energy together with pressure to cook your food. It makes your things like slow cooker meals, one pot meals, but there's so much more. You can cook rice in here. You can cook, it's fabulous for potatoes and beets and cakes. And oh, there's, again, thousands of recipes wherever you find them. The beauty of the pressure cooker is that it does have a fairly large capacity, so you'll be surprised how much this will make. It does have the maximum fill line, so please be aware, do not fill over that. If your pressure cooker is not getting pressurized, it's most likely because you've overfilled it. There's not enough room for the pressure to build up. You need to leave headroom there. You can't fill it to the tip top here. You gotta honor that pressure line or that maximum fill line. You also need to have it closed down, locked, with the silicone ring in, and of course then the pressure valves are going to regulate the pressure and let you know when it is safe to open when this little pressure valve goes down. Fantastic for one pot meals, fantastic for people who are on the go because you can have this ready in your fridge. First one home takes it out, adds whatever liquid you need to on there, and then pops it in the microwave for the 15, 20, 25 minutes and goes off and does whatever they want to do, and they come back and your dinner's made. That's the great thing. Your micro butler does your work for you. Give it the right tools. The Smart Multi-Cooker is one of our, again, another stacking, oh, look at me, another stacking kind of cooking system, but this one is unique because it is the only true steamer in the world. That this part of it here, actually not including the extra colander, so it comes with an extra colander so that you can stack and cook, but this part here, the top and the bottom, the kind of heavy parts, this is a stainless steel bowl wrapped in plastic, and so the microwaves cannot penetrate this bowl at all. So they are redirected down to the liquid, to the water, not anything else, that must be in the bottom here, up to no more than the fill line, which is shown by the shaded textured part here. Again, if this isn't making steam, it's because you've got too much water. You've got to leave room. There's got to be, you've got to honor the laws of physics. So, and Tupperware has made that easy. You fill it with the 1 3/4 cups that it says to, or up to the fill line. And then it's going to heat that water up to boiling, creating steam, which is going to go up through the holes here. And that is what's going to cook your food. The steam. You can stack and cook, so you can have veggies on the bottom, fish or chicken or whatever on the top, and it is marvelous. Great for cooking corn on the cob and many of your vegetables. So many things. I love this. But it also has lots more versatility because it's also a pasta maker. Now, I'm going to be mentioning about the breakfast maker, and along in this line is the pasta maker as well. And the pasta maker is great. It does what it says it's going to do. And it has all the, it's very handy. But for me, it's a one-trick pony. That's all it does. One thing. And so for me, personally, I want to have as much versatility. I want to have as few gadgets in my kitchen that have as much versatility and do what I need them to do as possible. And so I can use my stack cooker to make my pasta. I can use the 3 liter of my stack cooker to boil water, because that's all this is doing, is boiling water. And then you're having your pasta in here and it's cooking in the boiling water. You can boil water anywhere, on the stove, in your microwave, it doesn't matter. It's just boiled water. So you can do that anywhere. And so this will work just fine as well. This works great for your pasta. But it also, when you add in the rice insert, the rice and grains insert on the top, which is concave so that your water is going to boil up here, it's going to fall down into the middle and it's going to go back in, circulate around. And then your cover is going to go on. You're going to snap it on. And this is designed to be used at about, I wouldn't use it on high in a 1200 watt microwave. I would use it no more than a 1000 watt microwave on high. And this is the only time that you're going to, because the instructions say to just put it on high for X number of minutes, and it's not going to boil over because of that insert in there. Personally, I still would prefer to put it on high to boil the water just like you would on your stove, and then knock it down to simmer so that it will continue to cook in here. So this is your rice and grains, cooks your rice and grains, your rice, your quinoa, your pasta, and then to steam your veggies. So this is very, very versatile as well. Our fourth one is the breakfast maker, and the pasta maker, I guess, is in the same category. We also had a rice maker that was the same color, just a very mini minor version of the rice maker there. And again, to me, the rice maker, it's great. It works fine. If you have it and you use it and you love it, great. I'm happy for you. Personally, for me, it's a one-trick pony. I don't make rice often enough to justify having a single item that will only do a single thing. I want something that will do lots of different things. So that's why I go with the stack cooker. The breakfast maker, on the other hand, this will do 1,000 tricks. If you have seen the breakfast maker recipe file that is available on the breakfast maker, my Tupperware recipes breakfast maker. And there are recipe files there that are amazing. And the breakfast maker can be used for so many things. We use this every single day for our breakfast, either with or without the inserts here. So that is the fourth system. And then the fifth one, which is the most technologically innovative. It is the most technologically innovative in the world. This is amazing. The MicroPro Grill. How many of you love your MicroPro Grill? I know these comments are going to go thick here because everybody who has it and has been taught how to use it loves their MicroPro Grill. This is made of stainless steel. So the microwaves are not cooking the food. The microwaves are actually being absorbed by the hot plates or the susceptors that are here, top and bottom. These squares here are susceptors that absorb that microwave energy, and they convert it to thermal energy, to heat. And so that's where it generates up to 425 degrees exactly in as little as 90 to 120 seconds. It will stay at that temperature as long as it's in the microwave, a precise 425 degrees. That's why it cooks so unbelievably efficiently. So for anyone who does not still, who is hesitant about the idea of microwaves cooking their food, the Smart Multi-Cooker and the MicroPro Grill would be my two that I would suggest. That the microwaves do not cook the food. Here they are cooked by steam. Well, except when you're using the rice insert, but it's just for rice. And this one is cooking by thermal energy, just like it is on your stove. It is an oven, a frying pan, a barbecue, and a panini press for your microwave. You know how magic it is. I don't need to show you. And if you don't, go check it out on YouTube, Tupperware MicroPro Grill, and then call your rep and make sure that you book a cooking class so that you can show it off to your friends and earn yours for your half price. But the MicroPro Grill is absolutely astonishing and perfect for people who are single. If they are my 82-year-old brother, I just gave him one for his birthday. He's a widower now, and so he is loving it. He's having so much fun because cooking for one can be a real drag, but the MicroPro Grill makes it fun because you can do everything in here. Kids that are going off to college, if they've got access to a microwave, a MicroPro Grill and a stack cooker, really, that's all they need, unless they have room for a pressure cooker. But really, a MicroPro Grill and a stack cooker, and they're set for whatever they need. They can cook a whole chicken in here and have it ready to go. There was one more thought that came into my head, and as soon as it came in, it left. Oh, I know what it was. One last thing. Going back to wattage, and this is the last thing I'm going to talk about because I have talked for longer than I expected. But have you learned something new? Have you been learning along the way? That's the most important thing. That for your meats, anything that are high in protein, I was looking at the breakfast maker and it made me think eggs. Lots of people say, oh, eggs cooked in the microwave, or chicken, oh, cooked in the microwave, it's all rubbery. Well, the reason that your chicken or your eggs are rubbery is because you are cooking them at too high of a power. Proteins don't like to be cooked on high power. That's why in your oven, if you're cooking a roast, you turn it down to 325. So you need to cut down your cooking power on your microwave when you're cooking eggs or meat as well. Hamburger, not so much, but certainly things like eggs, if you were cooking any other kind of, well, most any other things like, what I'm saying, steaks or pork chops, you're probably going to cook them. You're not going to cook them in the stack cooker at all. You're going to cook them either in the pressure cooker for ribs, best thing ever for ribs, or you're going to cook them in the MicroPro grill. But eggs, for sure, you want to cut down the power of your cooking. I cook eggs in the microwave on power 4 in my 1200 watt microwave, and it cooks them perfectly. 1 egg, 1.5 minutes, 2 eggs, 2 minutes, 35 seconds, and they're perfect every time. Bust up the yolk if you don't put water in the bottom. If you do put water in the bottom, personally, I think that's gross, but you don't have to bust up the yolk. I've always had a thing about poached eggs. I don't like them. But for your omelets and so on, same thing. Cut down your power if you find that your eggs are kind of rubbery. The texture is a little nicer. So that's basically all you need to do, or all you need to know about microwave cooking. And I know that is a lot of information, but if you are a rep, this is not something that you're going to talk about at every party. You're not going to go into all of this, how a microwave works. Go into the wattage, absolutely, because that's important to know. But you're not going to go into all of that. You're not going to talk about every cooking system. You're not going to talk about all of that. You're going to focus on one cooking system and say, hey, guess what? Next time we can do something else. We can do the MicroPro grill. Isn't it amazing? We can do that at your party. So as a rep, you're going to be very superficial, but you need to know in case people ask you questions or in case they have concerns about the microwave. That, oh, I don't like microwaves because the only one I have never been able to address, and I don't think anybody ever would, is that it changes the aura of my food. I didn't have a comeback for that except just to say, great, you stick with whatever you're doing now and have a good life. But for those people who just are a little scared of the microwave, most people are a little scared of the microwave simply because they don't understand it. It's magic. So all we want to do is take away the magic and show how simple it is. It's a very simple appliance. It's just a different way of cooking. And the best way to get people excited about microwave cooking is to have them there in the kitchen and tasting the results that we can get. When you have the right tools and you know how to use them, you're going to get great results. With Tupperware, we have the right tools. And having a microwave class or a microwave info session or a cooking party, you're going to learn how to use them so that you can get great results and save yourself lots of time, lots of money, eat healthier, faster, and save big on your energy bills as well. So thanks so much for watching. I am going to make this available as a YouTube video that so reps, if you wish, you can then share it to your customer pages. So if you want to share this information, be my guest, but let people know this is a full hour of information all about microwave cooking and the ins and outs and so on. Most people won't watch it, but I want you to so that you have the information when you need to. I'll also post up I think it's there already, but I'll find it again and post up some information, just some support material about microwaving in plastics. People are concerned about that. There are different kinds of plastics, just like there are different grades of plastics, just like there are different grades of cars. There is the Cadillac or the Jaguar or the Bentley or the Maserati or the whatever. That's the Tupperware. The Skodas and other things, those are the margarine containers. And I don't want to pick on any car manufacturer, but a cheapo car would be like your Gladware and so on. Those are not designed to be reused time and time again. They are disposable. After a couple times, they are to be disposed of. And that's what we want to get away from with Tupperware. We have an investment for a lifetime. Invest in it once and use it for a lifetime. So talk about investing, not purchasing, not buying. Talk about investing, because that's what it is. Okay, don't get me started on that. Yeah, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Terry. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And now, if you are a rep, I challenge you, go have a microwave class. Go offer someone a microwave class. Go offer them a microwave info session. Say, you're not going to believe what I just learned about microwave cooking. Let's get together with your friends so that I can share some of that information with you and make you more comfortable with using your microwave, saving time and money, and eating healthier. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time. Bye.